Mikel Arteta's interest in Eden Hazard, one of the best players in the world, 4-5 years back, have hit a dead end in there. Welcome to Rokani Media. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? This is the channel that brings you your latest news and information as far as the football news all over the world is concerned. I go by the names of Rokani David, aka RD, onto this channel, and today we get straight into this story that most of you never thought that it would happen this way, because came out way back and news was reported that Arsenal have registered a very big interest in Eden Hazard. That was Foot Macheto, and Foot Macheto was a source that is coming in from Spain. And when you hear something from Spain, you just get to know that they might be in there onto the right spot, and they might have hit onto the gist of the matter in there. It's called footmacheto.net. It comes in from Spain. Either for you, one of the biggest transfer story breakers in Spain in there. They came out and said that Arsenal have registered their interest in a player who goes by the names of Eden Hazard in there, and they are keen on signing Real Madrid's former Chelsea player who goes by the names of Eden Hazard in there for you. And that news excited very many Arsenal fans, because when you look at Eden Hazard, he's 31 years of age and he still has some good years with him at Arsenal. He can even come in and give Arsenal some 3 good years in there, because when you look at Arsenal, Arteta feels like, when I bring in Eden Hazard, the main reason of bringing him into this team is to really help the people, the young ones like Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, Martin Odegaard. You see that young talent, Martinelli, those attack forward-minded players in there, because Eden Hazard, by the time he got out of, was it Lyon, where they bought him from France and brought him to a side which goes on Chelsea, he played very good and was one of the best world players in there. That is Eden Hazard in there for you. And that's why you saw that in 2019, he was bought at 90 million pounds, close to 100 million euros in there. That is Eden Hazard for you. That's why Real Madrid came out and got that money in there. They brought him at Real Madrid as a replacement for Cristiano Ronaldo and was given shirt 7 in there. But things have not yet worked out for him ever since he joined a side which goes by the names of Real Madrid. Close to 3 years down the road, and he is really a flop at Real Madrid, because when you look at how he's faring at a club which goes by the names of Real Madrid, when you look at his Wikipedia, he joined Real Madrid in 2019, and guess how many appearances he has made for Real Madrid? 47 appearances, and he has scored only 4 goals. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Yet he made 147 appearances for Lille, where he was before he came to Chelsea, and he played there from 2007 to 2012. Those are 5 years, 147 appearances. At Chelsea, he played there for 7 years and he made 245 appearances and scored 85 goals. So he showed you that at least every season he could. Let me see how many seasons these were. 7 seasons divided by, yeah, that means that every season Eden Hazard averaged 30 games a season at Chelsea in there. He averaged 30 games a season. That is Eden Hazard in there for you. But right about now, he has only played 47 games in 3 seasons. In 3 seasons. Can you imagine? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? And 17 of those games, he has played them into this season in the La Liga, because this season Eden Hazard has played 17 games, but he has not been a starter. Most of them he has been coming from the bench. When you look at the minutes played, don't really match. He has played 3 games in the Champions League. You get, that's 20 games this season. That means in the previous season, the other seasons, he has played a total of 27 games, and these 20 games have come into this. And as Ancelotti was trying to usher him into the team, guess what happened? He got an injury, and today I've seen Fabrizio Romano coming out and really saying that Eden Hazard will undergo ankle surgery in the next few days. Real Madrid official statement confirms in there. So it shows you really that Eden Hazard is a player who is injury prone, and way back at Chelsea he wasn't injury prone. That's why I really come out and say, what does Mikel Arteta want this player for? That's why I've come out with the title that Arteta's interest in Hazard hits a dead end, because you cannot come out and sign a player like Eden Hazard unless they give you the player on loan. And when they give him to you on loan, the salary that he earns is ridiculous. £400,000 a week. Can Arsenal really pay that money? They can't. They can't. They can't pay that money to Eden Hazard in there. And that's the reason as to why they threw Aubameyang under the bus, because he was earning close to £370,000 a week. That's why they threw him out under the bus, because what he was really earning was not equivalent to what he was showing or showcasing on the pitch in there, and he's indisciplined in the club. So that's Eden Hazard for you. They threw a player who goes by the names of Mesut Ozil under the bus, because he was earning £300,000 a week and he was not being used by the manager Mikel Arteta, and he told the board that I don't want to see him anymore here, and he was really thrown out of the team. That is Ozil in there for you. Now, can you make that risk and bring in Eden Hazard? Because Arteta looks like he's a manager who really admires Eden Hazard a lot, and he feels like he can resurrect his career back at a team which goes by names of Arsenal in there for you. But his interest has been put to a halt, because he is now undergoing an ankle injury. No player undergoes an ankle injury and returns in a space of 2 or 3 months. Just know it's going to take Hazard a minimum of 2 months to return. And I know he really wants to cure very, very well, because the World Cup is in December and he wants to prepare himself for the World Cup. That's why you saw even in the Euros, few games he started for Belgium. He was so injured. I don't know what's the problem with Eden Hazard in there. What type of injury did he get at Real Madrid that he never had at Chelsea? Because at Chelsea, he used to play game in, game out, and he was that player that was untouchable. And he was one of those players that when you're naming a team of Chelsea, is the one you were sure, 100% sure, that is going to be named into the starting lineup of Chelsea in there. So he has played a lot of football in there, and I really believe that at Chelsea, I mean, not at Real Madrid, and at Real Madrid, he has not played any of the football in there. So to me, I really believe that Mikel Arteta should change his plan. I think he should get another player altogether. There are very many experienced players in there. When you look at Ousmane Dembele at Barcelona, he has really rejuvenated his career and he's playing very well. For the very first time, I've seen Ousmane Dembele play close to 10 games consistently without getting an injury. Kudos to the manager who goes by names of Xavi, because when Xavi came in here, he's just sensed that the doctors were not good enough at Chelsea. They were incompetent. They're incompetent and they couldn't match the standards he wanted. So what he did, he sacked the entire medical staff of Barcelona and brought in new doctors. And these doctors have managed to turn around the career of a man who goes by names of Ousmane Dembele in there. And I really believe that Ousmane Dembele, if Arsenal qualifies for the Champions League and they put up a very good money for him, they can get him. I don't know whether Barcelona are really going to give him the money once, though he's getting enough playing time. But I really believe that Ousmane Dembele might be eyeing for another transfer. And I really believe that Arsenal can really go in for Ousmane Dembele, because it looks like he has been treated. He's back to the Ousmane Dembele we knew way back at Borussia Dortmund. Remember, when he was playing at Borussia Dortmund, we never knew that he was an injury-prone player. It was when he came in at Barcelona and we really got to know that he really has glass legs, and we named him the ambulance in there. So I think getting Eden Hazard, you rather get in Ousmane Dembele, because for Ousmane Dembele, I think he has his age. His age is really... Age is still on his side. It's not like Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard is 31 years. You bring him, he's really going to be so much injured. But when you look at Ousmane Dembele, he's just 24 years of age. Bring him at Arsenal instead of Hazard. That's what I really think. So Arsenal fans, feel free to go into the comment section and tell me what you think about Eden Hazard coming to Arsenal, hitting a dead end, because he's going to undergo a surgery. And we don't know what's going to happen in there. But these consistent injuries, to me, I really believe that Arsenal should change their plan of bringing in another player. So what do you think about Ousmane Dembele? What do you think about Eden Hazard getting another injury on his ankle and is going to undergo a surgery, and he is going to be 3 months away from returning in there? That's what I really think. And maybe his season is off. His season is off because we're only left with April and May. Just 1.5 months left for the season to come to a halt. So I really believe his season has come to an end. So feel free to go into the comment section. Should Arteta continue pursuing for the signature of Eden Hazard to Arsenal in there or not? I go by the names of Rokani David. I sign out for now. Let the conversations begin into the comment section below. I'm out.